Going on, fam? Um, don't know how this is going to turn out, but this is how it go. Uh, just got off the phone with my middle brother, and we was just talking of just about our past, just about some stressful situations that we even find ourselves still in because of the past. Many people know me, and you understand it. Dr. Morris, before he was Dr. Morris, was Jonathan Morris, which was a little young man that grew up in a abusive environment and wound up doing and making choices that put him in a much more abusive environment called hell on earth, prison. But I want to share something with you today, and I want to bless you today. Um, I haven't really read my book, to anyone. This is my book. This is my book. Get some more copies made. I done sold so many just by people who love on me. They just love on me. But I want to share some with you about the true meaning of forgiveness. Sometimes we hear Oprah Winfrey talk about forgiving is not for you, forgiving a person is for you. But sometimes I think we have a broad interpretation of forgiveness, and we don't understand what forgiveness truly is. So it's not the gospel, but this is the way I look at forgiveness. This is the way I look at understanding how to move past certain abusive situations, or moving past the personality that you have let keep you indoctrinated with hate for a person, place, or thing. So I'm gonna read a part of my book, and I just want to share a little bit of it because I'm gonna try my best not to be emotional about it, because some parts of my life I still can feel and smell and see situations that have happened to me. But listen to this. It says, this is at the end of one of my chapters about forgiveness. It says, let me end with this. We have all heard that true forgiveness is not for the other person, but for the one who is forgiving. I truly believe this statement. If the forgiver truly understands why they need to forgive, or the reason why they will not forgive, is the only true way to understand how unforgiveness can be released and destroyed. Most of us believe that forgiveness frees us, but it frees both the forgiver and the one offended. Because if we are willing to take a deep look at the power of forgiveness, we will see that it is not only the forgiver that is in bondage, but the one who has offended is in bondage as well. The offender is in bondage of the day. That means the person who has done it to you is still in the bondage of 1969, 1985, that day. Time and emotions that the forgiver and the offender, one is in bondage of holding over the head of the offender and the offense of many days or even years after the offense have taken place. That means you still have a person, place, or thing still in that same time and destination of when the offense took place. Wow. Every time the offender thinks of the person, they remember the offense like it was yesterday. And many times the offended one will add more to the offense over time, because the emotions that are keeping it alive are not responding like they have been for prior years. Sometimes we might, like me, I got abused, so I had to start adding to the offense. I had to start adding to the abuse. What were they thinking when they did this? Were they trying to destroy me? I had to add to the personality of the person who offended me or abused me or took advantage of me. I had to keep adding so I can keep the fuel to the fire, so I can still be upset with this person, place, or thing. While reliving the event over and over again, it also brings the fire needed to keep the offense alive and fresh. I'm never going to forget what you did. I remember what I was wearing. I remember the place it was at. I'm going to keep this thing fresh and alive, because I'm not going to move on from this offense. And that's why a lot of us find ourselves in situations where we have broken relationships, not only in marriage, but with our children, but on the job. building companies and living because we are reliving an offense that is controlling the rest of our very being. Now, let's make it clear. I'm not telling you to forget someone who has raped or molested or abused you. I am not telling you to forgive them. Have you ever thought about just accepting them for who they were? Have you ever thought about, look, that's who they are. That's what they were. But we can't. You know why? Most of us that have been abused can't accept our father or mother abusing us, or our uncle mistreating us, or our aunt mistreating. You know why? Because we want them to be what we thought they should have been at that moment in time in our life. We wanted them to be a strong provider, a strong protector, a strong nurturer. We wanted them to like us because they are our family and they should love us for who we are, auntie, uncle, you're supposed to love me. But when people don't demonstrate the attributes which you believe now they should have had then, you get mad instead of accepting them for who they were. Could you imagine if most of us accepted people for who they were? We would have less strife in life. You know how we try to build a bear. Half of the women in the hood want to build a bear. They want to build a man. No, accept him for what he is. He's lazy. But we don't. We try to build him up and you wind up having children by him. And now you mad that he's not the man you thought he should be, but you knew what he was when you met him. Or you want to be with a woman and you know what she was doing and you want to build a woman. Instead of accepting that woman for who she is right now, in this place she is now, in the mindset she is now, in the lifestyle. No, I'm going to build her up. And we do that throughout our lives to so many different people. That's why we get upset with people. I don't like that person. And you know why you don't like that person? Because they're not what you want them to be. And we don't going to sugarcoat your abuse. We're not going to sugarcoat the things that have been done to you. I don't sugarcoat the things that was done to me. I accept people, places, and things for what they have done, and I learn from them. But I'm going to tell you one thing. I don't try to even sugarcoat them to this day. You are this type of person. Some people that were abusers then are abusers now. There's certain people my children will never be left in the house with. I don't care if they preach. I don't care if you call them a bishop. I don't care if they're $1 million in corporate men. You can't be around my children because you still display the same attributes what you were when I was a child. You can't be around my children because I want to keep living and I don't want to go to the penitentiary. Oh, I know pastors shouldn't be talking like that, but I'm just trying to help you out. Some people are who they are, and we have to learn to accept them for who they are, and we have to learn the healing process starts with us. And I want someone to heal through this month. You know, this is Cancer Awareness Month. There's always something dealing with cancer, but I'm dealing with a situation in my life where cancer is hitting home. And this ain't the first time it hit home. So it made me start thinking about how much stuff I held on to and held people to standards. Not knowing that, do you know anger and frustration brings on cancer-like ailments? You know unforgiveness, it brings on cancer-like ailments. Do you know that anger and frustration, hey, you're drinking and smoking weed and doing drugs that can bring on cancer-like ailments? I wanted to mix these two together. There is something in your life that is cancerous. And you're going to go to the grave with it, ain't you? You're going to go to the grave and you ain't going to never look at the person and say, look, that's who they were. He didn't want no children. I shouldn't have had no children by that brother. She didn't want to be she didn't want to be no wife. She wanted to be my boo. But you mad at her that she didn't turn around and become what you thought she should be. You mad at him that he didn't turn himself around and be with you. Mad that dad didn't protect you. You mad that mom wasn't more nurturing. You mad that auntie and uncle was so mischievous and your cousin was really a child molester. And you mad that they were these things. Instead of saying, no, they are who they are. And they shouldn't have been a good cousin. Because they wasn't. They were this person. They should have been a better auntie or uncle. No, they wasn't. They should have been a better brother or sister or a neighbor. Or a better pastor. Or a better imam. Or a better just person. They wasn't. Some people are predatorial. Some people are just low down. And I know you don't want to call them these things, but what are you? Don't you judge, you may not be judged. If you steal, you a thief. Period. If you smoke crack cocaine every day, you are an addict. If you drink every day, you're an alcoholic. That's not judging. That's let me use my peripheral vision and knowledge of what drug and alcohol can do to you and say that's what they are. And that's what gets on my nerve when we come to religion. Don't you judge. Some people are just rotten. So I need you to embrace not your pain, not your anger, for embrace the fact that this person tried to destroy you. This place tried to destroy you. This functioning body or thing, crack cocaine and alcohol, tried to destroy you. And now that you're standing still in your right mind, you still are giving space to anger and frustration and unforgiveness, and you wonder why your business can't grow. You wonder why every time you're in a relationship, you break it apart and destroy it. Because you don't want to accept that this happened to me and I survived it. Now, how can I live better and protect myself in my now? So I can be strong and go speak to children and go speak to young men and tell them you can go through these things in your family and in your community. And I'm telling you how to protect yourself, or I'm telling you that there's someone you can come talk to. Because one thing about the African American culture, everything happened in the house, stay in the house, everything is hush hush, which makes no sense. You know this person in your family touching children and y'all don't want to tell nobody. Because you go to church every Sunday, or you make it to the Master Jared on Friday, and it's too embarrassing to know that he has a demonic and perverted way of living, and he's trying to harm other children, but you're not going to say nothing. Or she's doing it, you ain't going to say nothing, because there's a lot of female predators out here. Don't you get twisted. See, once you accept people for who they are, you can move on. You're not forgiving them for trying to harm you. That's not the forgiveness I'm talking about. I mean the forgiveness that makes you see what they were, what they tried to do. I'm still living. It ain't happening again. And I'm going to protect other children or other young men or other women and men from that predator, because I see it. When are we going to do these things? You think cancer's destroying our community. Could you imagine what unforgiveness is doing? And not accepting the situation. You weren't weak. You wasn't walking around and you look too sexy and Uncle such and such touch you or your brother touch you. He was a pervert. That's all. He was a pervert. You didn't do anything wrong. And that's the first thing that you get, what so many young women in my family had to go through. Or young women that I grew up with had to go through. Well, if you wouldn't have did, he wouldn't have touched you. Are you really serious? Because she got a little bit of breast and a little bit of behind, a grown man thought that she was enticing him. Instead of him saying, girl, go sit yourself down. You don't sit on my lap. My daughter don't even sit on my lap. And she got a certain age and I couldn't do this no more. My daughter didn't sit on my lap. Why? Because I taught her you don't sit on no man's lap. Not even your daddy lap. You don't sit on your mama lap. You sit down that chair. I taught her there's certain things that certain people can think and take over and think you trying to entice them because they perverted. So I had to teach my daughter certain things. This is what a man's supposed to do. Open the door for you, protect you, and feed you, and give you a hug, and I love you, but you don't sit on my lap and I'm sitting there at the basketball game doing this. No. So I'm asking you, my brother of my tribe, listen to me. Please listen. Accept the situation and person for who they were. And you need to pray about it and talk about it, meditate about it. Because the more you keep living in that one situation, the more, believe it or not, there's a part of you that's blaming you. You blaming you for someone taking advantage of you? You blaming you that you was a little girl couldn't overpower a grown man, or you was a little boy couldn't overpower auntie or your uncle or your brother? You think there was somewhere in you that it was your fault? When somebody robbed you, is it your fault? It's your fault for having money in your pocket? It's fault for having a purse? When somebody carjack you, it's your fault for buying a nice car? Somebody rob your house, it's your fault for having a nice house and furniture and living right? That's what I'm trying to bring you to. There's just some dirty, rotten scoundrels out here. And once you understand that people are prone to be some predatory people, there's some people just like that. I don't care what color they got on, how much money they making, they like to destroy. And brother and sister, if I can say to you, I'm 52 this year. If you survived and you made it through and you were protected, You listen here. Grow and thank God. Accept the situation. Don't keep living in it, and it's tearing you away from being the best person you can be. That's why Brother John is transparent. And the reason why I have so much passion about it, because at one time in my life, a male cousin tried to do some things to me. And this is the crazy part. I grew up in an abusive home with a father that was abusive. But when I let that person know that I'm going to tell my dad, the dude backed off. So you know, I struggled with the abuse from my dad because other situations did not happen because they was afraid of my pop. But when I see that certain person for years, I would just stare at him. As I got older and bigger, I would stare. I wish he would say something to me. Until one day I looked at him. I said, man, you talking about 20, 30 years later, he the same person. Same person. And I might have had to do a family gathering. You know what I did? Grab my children, grab my nephew, and I walked up to the person. I said, "Don't mess with these children around here. They don't need to be around you. They don't need to be talking to you." And he looked at me. He understood. A part of me wanted to break his neck, but a part of me just said, "Wow, person's still the same." But here I am, a grown man now, taking care of family, but I almost let that one part stop me from opening up my new company, writing the book that I just read from, get my GED, then going on to school, and then going to trade school and going. See, when you keep things bottled up and letting them choke the life out of you, like cancer, that we supposed to be fighting to beat, but we were afraid to fight the cancer in our mind. Release yourself today. Pray and meditate. I ain't say release that person from the responsibilities or that situation from the responsibilities or the circumstances from the responsibilities that it should have been better, but release you and accept what has happened, accept what was done, accept that person for who they are. And if you can't get an apology from them, why is it so important? They might be some old generational stuff they holding on to. It happened to me. I'm going to do it to somebody else. You know the old bull crap psychologists try to give you. It all stops with you. Because there's another line that's coming through you. Your children and your grandchildren and these young people need to hear you. That you survived. And you made it. And you need to bless someone. And let them know, no, that's who this person is, but that's not, don't let them who they are make you who you are right now at this given moment. Become a blessing. I don't mean no Holy Ghost blessing, walking down the aisle blessing, no, a blessing to someone's life that you know is going through it. Be transparent and love on them. I love you. I love you. You know, things get my heart. It's just that season. This is a hard season. This COVID is bringing up so much stuff and drinking and smoking and mothers killing their children right now and men blowing their girlfriends' brains out because they think life is over. And no, it's time to live. It's time to live. From the age of 7 to almost 30 years old, I survived because of anger and frustration of what could have happened to me. And you know how many people I've touched and might have destroyed through that era by not being loving or not being open and being angry at the world. Thought I was a good person because I always protect the children, I always protect the women. But I wouldn't let nobody embrace me and love me. You love to be, you deserve to be loved. You deserve to be honored. It's a shame. I didn't learn what true love was till later on in life. Giving and sacrificing and being open to be hurt. Because I love one person that could have did something. It didn't even happen. Could have happened to me. Almost destroyed my whole life by holding on to what they should have been. No, I should have understood what they were. Amen. I love each and every one of you, and I'm asking God to give some healing through this COVID. I'm asking the name of Yahweh through Yahshua HaMashiach to bless someone's life. And accept what happened. This is what happened. This is what these people were. It don't make it right. That's one thing I don't care what Oprah women say. It don't mean to make it right. It don't make it right. But you deserve to live. You deserve to love you. You deserve to have passion. You deserve to have a commitment and family and your job, and you need to, or a company, whatever you need to do to grow. It says, while we are reliving this event over and over again, it also brings the fire to keep this offense alive and fresh. We do not understand that by willfully tying ourselves to the bondage that cannot be broken by apology. We want an apology because revenge and hurt has now become the solution over the release of some empty words. I want to see something happen to them. Bumped all that. I want to see some empty words. Now, by accepting this as an all or nothing solution, we now embody feelings and emotions that were created by the main event, and even attaching new and fictitious emotions that now sometimes become our truth, just so we can hold on to crazy stuff. That is why I believe that true forgiveness is important for both. You already gave the definition of forgiveness, so don't twist my words. And true forgiveness cannot come about unless one that has been offended is willing to accept the offender for who and what they truly were or still are. I'm done with that. You gotta accept them. I know. But you don't have to accept the event. It was wrong. It's a difference. I just love each and every one of you. And, I love what God has done through my life and for my life. And when I got done talking to my brother, I was like, I love you. When are we going to live? I actually did this video because I asked my brother, when are you going to live? Why are we still tied to 1981 and 82, and it's 2021? Because we don't know how to survive without that little bit of fire, that little bit of anger. I said, I'm living. He's, man, you sound, I know I'm living. There's too much more life left. So again, Cancer Awareness Month, pray for your family. If you can give, donate. You know to give to. Don't you be cash apping me no. I don't need none of your cash app money about no cancer, none of that stuff. You know what to do. Go give a kind word. Go talk to your mom. Go talk to your dad. Give a kind word out. Don't try to use me as a vessel for you to do good. You can do good by yourself, right? We can do bad by ourselves. We can do good by ourselves. I love each and every one of you. Shema Yisrael Elanai Eloheinu Anai Kabut Shem Kavod Makatulai Lambayed. Hero people of the Creator. The Lord your God is one. The Lord your God will never change. Protect you and give you all that you need. In the name of Yahshua HaMashiach, through his power and his grace and his guidance.